What's up, guys? I'm Rose, and I just paid off about $5,000 worth of credit card debt in a little over 2 months. And I'll share with you how I did it, but you're probably not gonna like the answer. So I've been exploring a lot of passive income, side gigs, different ways to make money because as a teacher, I really don't make that much money. And since I'm remodeling my house, I've recently racked up about 10 grand in credit card debt, and my goal is to eliminate it as quickly as possible. So I've already gotten halfway to my goal. And I'm not just saying this to humbly brag, but I'm saying that it is possible to get out of debt. But if you're into get rich quick schemes and all of these other things that you might see online, I've got bad news for you. I've tried a lot of them. None of them really work. And it's really simple. It's a matter of spending less and making more. That's really all it comes down to. So let me share with you some of the things that I did. So at the time, it was just about $4,500 that I paid off, but I've paid off closer to five now, which means I've got about 5,000 more to go. I've got two more credit cards. They're going to be gone by my next paycheck, which I receive in about a week. And then after that, there's just one more that I'm going to hammer out. So I'll explain to you how I did it. First of all, I made good investments as a young person. I worked really hard. I went to school. I worked more than one job. And I invested in property. One thing I really recommend to people is invest in property if you're going to make any kind of investment. I'm not clever enough to play with stock markets and dividends and all of those things. All of that is over my head, but I do know that real estate is rarely a bad decision. You have to do your homework. You have to know what you're buying. And I invested in a really nice piece of property. And I decided to capitalize on it further by renting out my spare room for $300 a month. So you got to make good investments. And if you made bad choices in the past, it is not too late to rectify those, pay off those credit cards, do whatever you need to do to build your credit score back up. But saving and doing what you can, even if you're starting from scratch, is going to make a big difference in the long run. I know sometimes it's hard to think long term, but it is possible. You also have to make sacrifices, and that's a big one that I've found a lot of my friends just aren't willing to do. The ones that are trying to pay off debt, they're like, well, I still want to have my own place, and I still want to eat out whenever I want, and I still want to have my Netflix and my Hulu and my Amazon Prime, and I still want to be able to buy whatever I want, and I still want a nice car. If you're not willing to make some sacrifices, you're not going to get ahead financially. And the sacrifice I chose to make was eating out. I tallied up the numbers and realized I was spending almost $900 a month just eating out at restaurants, which is utterly ridiculous, I know. And it's easy to do because, I'm a single child-free woman, and it's hard not to justify just going to the restaurant and having myself a nice meal. But once I realized what I was spending, I'm like, okay, we're not going to get this credit card debt gone if we continue this because I'm spending more eating out than I am on all of my other bills combined. That's bananas. So I cut way back from eating out twice a day to eating out about twice a week. And let me tell you, it made a huge difference and it helped me eliminate that debt even quicker. So think of the things that you can sacrifice. Maybe cut some subscriptions for a while. Ban yourself from any kind of shopping spree for a period of time, and it'll make a difference. And multiple jobs. My teaching job pays comfortably for me to make a living. It does not pay enough for me to hammer out my debt and remodel my house. So I took on a side gig cleaning office buildings, which I actually really enjoy because I need the exercise. And then I took on another side gig where I score exams because with my English degree, there's a lot of opportunities online. There is no shortage of jobs or side gigs, and it might seem like a lot of hard work and it might seem like you're spending all of your free time doing something that you don't want to do. But if you just look at the numbers, set a goal. What kind of debts are you trying to pay off? And then focus on that and be like, you know what, if I have this short-term job for, let's say, maybe 3 months, how much of that debt are you going to have gone by the end of it? Try to think long-term. Try to think, it's not forever. So even if you're like me, I don't necessarily want to work all these jobs, but my bigger goal in mind is to pay off this debt. I also occasionally do tests with user testing, and I've found that it's pretty helpful. I've made, I think a couple $100 doing that. So a little bit can go a long way. And there's other things I've done. I've transferred my high interest credit to 0% interest credit cards. So I had to open up more than one line of credit in order to do that, but I'm saving on interest. I went through my house and found a bunch of stuff that I could return to the home improvement store that they took back, and I had like $750 worth of stuff to return. I was really surprised that I had that much. I also went and purged my house. I had a yard sale, which made a couple $100 to pay off some of the debt. There are so many ways to make money and so many ways to save money. And if you just want to find a get-rich-quick scheme where you're not going to have to work very hard, then, I have bad news for you. It's not going to work out. But I want to make one more comment, something that I think is important, and there's more to it than just working hard and paying off debt. I'm also a healthy person with no medical debt. And I'm also a child-free woman. I don't have to take care of kids and those kinds of expenses. So I don't ever want to forget that I live a somewhat privileged life, and that's also made it easier for me to pay off all of this debt. But if you're a person like me and you're trying to get ahead, just remember, you're going to have to make some investments, you're going to have to make sacrifices, and you're going to have to work really hard. I know that's probably not the answer a lot of people would like to hear, and you'd rather watch one of those videos that's like, hey, you can make a 6-figure salary by blogging about whatever. It's unrealistic. I've looked at all the numbers, I've tried all of the avenues, and it's unrealistic. So focus on the now, set some goals, write down a budget. That's the place to start. Write down exactly how much debt you need to pay off. Look into how quickly you can get it gone and start busting it out. It feels so good. And once I have the other $5,000 gone, assuming I don't do another house improvement project and rack it back up, I'll make another video celebrating my progress. So thanks for listening and thanks for joining me, and good luck eliminating your own debt.